Hey, what's up guys, Max here. So we got a little bit more time to play with Cassie Lang. And I wanted to put this video out there, just especially if it's somebody out there just got their hands on Cassie Lang with a new feature, and you're wondering, what do I do with her? Do I need to get her awakened? How do I play her? Now, full warning, I've only been playing her for less than 24 hours, and I do enjoy her. I am slowly falling in love with this champion, and I think she would be an option for me. Currently, right now, she's only rank 3, but she might be an option for me at rank 4. She has to fit in my personal deck, just my personal deck. Everybody's account's different. Everybody's playstyle is different. Her playstyle can easily fit within my options of playing. She's not complicated. She's actually fun to use. That miniature size mechanics, which we'll see happen, it's actually really fun to do to avoid the entire hits specials. Really, basically you're miniature sizing yourself for specials. It's extremely fun. One of the first things I want to cover is basically her awakened ability. Let me know if you agree with this, but personally I found that her awakened ability is important because of the immunity to power steal. You need to have her kind of like constantly launching special ones, and if you want to go for the big damage, special 2 is always going to be there. With the power steal immunity is huge, especially if you're going up against a champion that's constantly power stealing you through block. You know, I don't think we have any, but you don't want to get hit. You know, most of the champions that power steal kind of hit you to do that, make that happen. But the other thing is that her power sting gets actually increased. So the power sting limit currently is a stack at 30. So in her kit, basically she can get up to 30, but with the awakened ability we can get it to 39 or even higher. Cassie also gains a chance to evade her opponent's attacks, which is 8.32%. And then when Cassie evades, she inflicts a power sting debuff lasting 14 seconds and also dealing a burst of 1,300 direct damage if the opponent launches a special attack. So she becomes very nasty on defense and with her awakened ability. But when it comes to her awakened signature level, 200 is obviously going to be the best. 160 I think is second best. 120 is what I found to be very nice too as well. But if you can't get her to 120, 160 or 200, I wouldn't kind of like completely X her out. I think she's still very important to get her awakened. And then as you get more 6 stones, because they're very available, especially for the 6 stars right now, just add it to her, especially if she becomes one of your favorite attackers. The more you add to her, the better she becomes as a defender and the better she becomes as an attacker. Most common with all champions, right? Yeah, I don't want to sit here and break everything down for you as it could get very lengthy, but what I want to do is want to just showcase some gameplay. Now, we're in the beta right now. I do have her live in my account at rank 3 at the moment, but what we're going to do is we're going to jump, see if we can jump here to a port where we can port ourselves. No, it's not letting us, but let's restart this map. The synergy teams that I have on her are just all basically the teams that are almost every single synergy available for her. Nothing that makes it like extremely game breaking. I think you can enjoy her. She doesn't need synergies to be amazing. One thing she does need or rely is, or doesn't need necessarily, but it's extremely helpful, is that relic which I have on her, which is the Ant-Man relic. Father and daughter kind of team up against the Cyclops. But here, one of the things that I noticed that I like to start off with is the Dexes. The Dexes, because she's immune to buffs, so when she Dexes, she gets that Pym particle, which is that number 3 there at the top left, and that is basically applied and converted into a poison as soon as you basically finish the combo with a light. Now, notice there I applied 11 power stings, and what we're going to do, we're going to launch a special one again with the medium, still not ending with a light. We're going to shrink, and we're going to go and shrink again as he has another special one ready to go. And did not make contact on that one, so we're going to go with special 1 Whiff there. Actually, want to point out that's one of the things that is a little bit annoying on her right now, is that her specials are whiffing a lot. So now we're going to apply a light ending combo, which applies a poison, which makes the debuffs, the taunt, the power stings to slow down. I think it's by 30% when you apply that poison. It also helps for regen. So fight went incredibly fast, I think, for me. The amount of damage that came out of this fight was mainly around the power sting, so at 69%. But as maybe you didn't get to see everything that happened in that fight, because it kind of went kind of quickly and I was trying to talk over it. But again, when the health pools aren't that big, it definitely goes really fast. So we're going to go with a 601,000 health pool now. Now let's look at some of the things that happened while we were in that fight. One of the things that, if you did not notice, is I wanted to point out is landing a light combo ender consumes all the Pym particles and inflicts a poison debuff. But that poison debuff reduces the healing on the opponent by 30%. It is also kind of like expanded in time, depending on how many Pym particles you consumed. And again, you can have up to 6. And the way you get those, the easiest way to get those is by dexing. Simple dex, because she's immune to debuffs. She's immune to buffs. And so she triggers a dex buff, which basically crit buff, which she basically is immune to, so she gets a Pym particle through there. And that's the easiest way that I found to basically get your Pym particles to 6. Now, the other thing, the biggest thing I think that I find that is helpful when it comes to converting that to poison is the healing factor, but also while the poison's active, Cassie's taunt and power sting on the opponent fall 80%. I thought it was 30, but 80% slower. I got the percentages confused with the healing, including effects that are already active. So even if she has some effect active, so through the fight, this feature makes her very strong, and it makes you have more access to her other features, which are special 1s and special 2s and heavies. When it comes to this champion, she's a very awesome champion. Now, one of the things we're going to be testing here and showcasing here in this part with a higher health pool is going to be the mixture of a special 1 into a special 2. I found myself applying a bunch of special 1s into a finishing special 2 below. So you're going to want to launch, she's not going to be suicide friendly when it comes to your masteries. She's going to be very, here, we'll talk masteries and ideal masteries for her that I also found out to be useful here somewhere in this video. Please don't forget, say Max, you forgot masteries if I do end up forgetting. But we're going to be launching a lot of special 1s into a big special 2. And again, we're going to go for the dex. Now, when the champion, by the way, if the champion you're fighting has a very easy special 1 to evade, and it's a long one like this, notice how she picked up 4 Pym particles. I love that. So what we're going to do is we're going to shrink, and then we're going to we got to be careful here, as we're going to put, yes, thank you. Okay, I didn't want to push myself to a special 1. We're going to shrink again, and then we're going to do a taunt into 18 power stings. We're gonna end with a light, and then which apply the poison, which is now slowing the way that these debuffs fall off. And then we're gonna go with another special 1, another taunt, and then see the distance there. Even though he's in the corner, he's against the wall, we were not able to get the heavy into as close. There we go. Now we were, because we had a better spacing. And here we go. We're going to go with another special 1, keeping a taunt on them. And then we're going to just shrink. And now he's at 39 power stings, which is amazing. We're going to go with another. We're actually going to launch the Relic now. We're going to work our way into the poison. We're going to launch a special 1 as we head closer to a special 2. We're going to drop down, and what we're going to do, see how that poison's falling off right now? We're going to go in with a light, since we did have some Pym particles, And what we're going to do is we're going to go down and we're going to end this with a special 2 combo, which I was trying to end. He died too quickly. That health pool was just not much. We might have to go with a bigger health pool. You know, the champions that have like over a mil to showcase some of her damage. But the power stings was 70% of the damage, which was amazing. The fight went down in 1 minute and 44 seconds. And again, keeping in mind that I am not a pro Cassie Lang expert, I'm just like really just falling in love with this champion, and we're going to see just tons of gameplay, people just nuking champions. I think the more they become easier to use when it comes to the power sting. Kabam does need to fix the whiffing part of the special 2 and the special 1 that I've noticed as I'm testing her, which is not cool. It's the spacing and timing of how it just misses one hit completely. So hopefully we can see a fix in that. But you know, there's so much to cover when it comes to Cassie so far. Like I said, let's get into another fight to just keep talking about her. One of the things I did mention here is that I wanted to talk about masteries when it comes to her best ideal mastery setups. If it's not a meta, I'm talking battlegrounds now, or possibly Alliance War. If you like to take off your recoil masteries, basically I call these, or suicides. Many people call them different things. The top row into just using the bottom, not using those because you're taking 5% damage off. She's not friendly to that, by the way, because of her constant special 1 launch. You would just basically end up with like 40% less reduction just from that. I like having the Pierce as her special 2 does a good amount of crit, constant crit. So I like to run that. I do like to run Despair because she has a bunch of debuffs that are being applied to the opponent. So Despair is very friendly to her. Assassin I can probably avoid, but I had it there just testing that out. I could probably put that 1 extra 2 points, spread them somewhere else. Now, defensive abilities, I would recommend also having Inequity active. So passively reduces the enemy's attack by 6% for each debuff. And she's all about the debuffs. So if accidentally you slip, miss a parry, and get hit, you're not going to take as many damage back. Or if she's on defense and she's already got some taunts on the opponent's special 1s or some power stings, you know, it's going to be a harder time to take her down, even though she is tiny. When it comes to proficiencies, I would say I know she is not Mystic, so I just run this normally, but one of the things on Limber defensively that's going to help her. Other than that, pretty straightforward. I did not put any Petrify or Pacify on. Maybe these might be helpful, but maybe we'll leave that for another test. But I did want to talk about my offensive and defensive masteries, because I think those 2 are going to be very important if you want to just maybe see the same amount of damage, or wondering why I was dealing X amount of damage. No boost, by the way, in all this testing, just her and some synergies when it comes to like the gameplay you saw right now. Okay, so here we're going to be going up against Lady Thor. She's sitting at 190,000 health, but we do have class advantage on this fight. And by the way, if you've forgotten, Cassie's immune to poison and shock, so you wouldn't think that she would be immune to poison, but they gave her the poison ability immunity, so hey, why not? Let's just run with it and play with the fact that she's poison immune. So here we're going to go for the special 1. That's going to put the taunt on her. So we're going to shrink down. The special 2 is a long one there. So you got to be careful with that one too. We're going to go with the special 1 again to put another taunt, refresh it, and then she's going to launch a special 1. Special 1's easier to evade. Also be aware that you know how long the champions that you're fighting special animations are, because the longer they are, the more you're going to end up on the ground. So we're going to go here. See that was a quick one, so we can do multiple shrinkage, and just you don't end up you gain your basically ability to shrink quicker if the special animation is fast. So 48 seconds on this fight, you know, incredible. The power sting was 54,000 damage, 45% of it was power sting. Now we're going to tackle on the bigger, healthier. I think this should be about 600,000 or maybe 500,000 health. 619. Again, just using Cassie. We're going to try to get to that special 2. Again, hopefully stacking a lot of power stings on the option here. So we're doing fairly good, somewhat decent damage on the crits. What we're gonna do is avoid. But you see how I was gonna say avoid the special 1, but we got hit. But see, notice how I was immunity trigger there is because we're immune to shock, and we're gonna go for a special 1 and the heavy. And now what we're gonna do is apply a special 1. We're gonna refresh those shocks, or the taunt and the power sting, and we're gonna go again. Well, it was kind of a distance there. I was a little bit sketchy there. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna end the combo with a light, and we're gonna go with another special 1, and then hopefully she launches it. She launches special right away. Perfect. And now what we're gonna do, end with the light again, and go special 1, apply another taunt. This time we're gonna evade, and then we're gonna go down. 35 power stings on the opponent. Oh, the spacing wasn't the best there. We're gonna go special 1 again, see how the whiff happened again, and then here we're gonna just dash down. And we're going to end the combo with a light, so the taunt slows down on the way it's falling off. Again, 80% slower. What we're going to do now, we're going to go for a big special 2, as it's going to crit every single time. Look at those crits. Oh, so lovely. And we're going to go with the Relic, since we accidentally pushed her to red. And we're just going to go special 1. Like that. Okay, not the best fight showcasing, but I did get a chance to showcase the big special 2 damage there. That is one of the things I wanted to see, is those constant crits. Man, she does remind me, I mentioned this on the stream, she reminds me of a little bit of a hybrid of a couple of different champions, and that's why maybe you might enjoy and find her to be fun when it comes to adding her to your deck. When it comes to battlegrounds, so she reminds me of one of my favorite champions to use. Here, let's bring up the champion roster here, which is Spider-Ham. Spider-Ham has been my go-to, especially in battlegrounds recently, in a few different metas. He's been one of my favorite champions, but he gives me Spider-Ham vibes because of the power stings. He also gives me, well, I mentioned this earlier too, is Ghost vibes. And one of the reasons Ghost is the vibe is because of the constant special 2 crit. You just have to have that taunt. So you kind of have to, it's not as easy as Ghost. Ghost is a lot more easier with with that special 2 consistent crit. With her, you have to kind of work her up to that. So you got to do the special 1, make sure they have the taunt, you know, and then maybe end with a light hit combo. So the poison reduces how quickly that taunt falls. Work your way to a special 2 and then launch a special 2. So that's the ideal situation for that constant crit. But also the face mechanic that Ghost has. So hers is more like a miniature size mechanic. And I also mentioned, like, you know, I'm not a big Tigra player, but for those that do have Tigra in the deck and enjoy how she kind of misses, you know, by holding the heavy, I think that might be something that you guys kind of can relate to Cassie. So let's talk here now. Hopefully you got some good ideas on, you know, the fights that she can do. But let's talk relics. We were using a 7-star, 6-star relic on Cassie. Okay, but one of the things you might be interested in knowing is, like, hey, what's the ideal relic to put on, and what are the best runes? These are the ones that I was using. Kind of like, you can switch them up Definitely doesn't mean that these are like in stone. These are the must do, but it felt like these were the ones that just made a bit more sense. You kind of, when it comes to relics, you put them and you kind of forget them, and then you just use them. A lot of people use them just for the actual relic showing as a combo, but the Ant-Man relic actually provides a lot of benefit. So let's see here. So there's three. When it comes to the 6-star, you have 3 options. When it comes to the 5-star, you only have 2. But let's talk 5-star, since the 5-star is more common into people's decks, and that's actually what I have myself. Let's talk about the 2 runes you could be using when it comes to your relic. So inflicts a power sting debuff, which inflicts an additional power sting debuff lasting 16 seconds. An opponent with power sting takes 18.50 direct damage if they activate a special attack. Now, that is another power sting on top of another power sting, so you can really be doing a lot of damage. But the one that I enjoy and I think was more useful for me is inflicts a power sting debuff. Inflicting a power sting debuff inflicts a taunt passive, lowering attack rating by 9.25% for 16 seconds. The cooldown 16 seconds. So I felt like having a taunt was just a little bit better. I mean, yes, she applies a taunt on her special 1, but if in case we were at a special 2 or didn't have a special 2, we had a relic active and we needed them to refresh the power stings because they refresh when they launch their special. This would help you a lot because you can launch your relic, they launch their special, and now you've refreshed all your power sting and you didn't lose a single one. Now the second rune that I have active was the power sting debuff potency. So that was my option. Now you have other options too. You got the power sting debuff duration and you have the opponent's special attack damage. So basically taking 4.62% here less. But the one I was running was the power sting potency and also the taunt when you apply the power sting. Those 2 were my favorite, and those were the 2 that I was running, obviously on the 6-star relic on on her. So I did want to cover the relic just in case anybody was curious about the relic information and maybe what relic to put. If you don't have Ant-Man, you know what, I don't know if any other relic that might be helpful. It's just, I feel like that's the best one, whether you have a 4-star, 3-star, 5-star, or 6-star. You're fortunate to have that 6-star relic. Definitely use it. Now, what I did right now, I just completely took everybody, all the synergies off her. We're gonna go and fight a Star-Lord. No synergies. I am gonna throw some boost now. Okay, so we're gonna just apply every single boost active that I have just to showcase some more damage. So now we're gonna have her boosted, but no synergies. So see how we balance the fight here. Especially, I want to see that special 2. We're not gonna be able to showcase the special 2 versus this fight, but we are gonna be able to see it with the second fight, the second Star-Lord fight. So here again, we're gonna just dash back. Oh, we didn't get that dash back. That's all right. So we're gonna launch a special 1, and now we're gonna miniature size ourselves. Boom. We have them at another special 1. Ooh, okay, good. Didn't know if I was gonna be able to land that. We're gonna end this with the light to apply the poison, so the debuffs do fall off a lot slower. Special 1. And then what we're gonna do is dash back. Ooh, that did not trigger a Pym particle on that one. Okay, so then let's go for the get the 1 Pym that way by actually completely missing the special 1 or the special as we dash down. We got 2. He's pretty much dead now, so we're just gonna launch our special 1. He's at 1%. Again, I was trying to work my way to a special 2, but yeah, he was too quick to die. Okay, this is where we're going to really find the big damage on the special 2. Hopefully it doesn't die and we don't lose a taunt. And that's the one tricky part. So let's go with the dash backs right away, right out the gate. We're going to go, we have 3. So I think that's good. Just make sure we don't end the combo in a light. So we're going to go medium, light, light, mediums. We're going to dash down. He's going to launch that special 1. And then we're going to go for it. Another one. Perfect. And now we're going to go with the special 1. We're going to drop down again. See how we're missing a couple of hits there? And what we're going to do is we're going to, again, special 1. Still holding to our Pym Particles there. And then we're going to go. Perfect. And what we're going to do now is end with the medium again and go here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work our way to a special, almost special 2. There we go. Just got to be careful. And now launch it. We're going to miniature size ourselves. Perfect. And now what we're going to do is end with a light combo. Drop down. And what we're going to do here is launch a special 2. It's going to crit every single time. 25k crits there. Oh, those are so lovely. And we'll shrink ourselves again. And he's done. With a final 50 power sting damage there at the end. We could have taken more advantage of the... So there's multiple ways of playing her, honestly, is you can go for that big special 2. You can constantly be spamming special 1s and just keep the champion in the corner. It reminds me a little bit of a stun lock, if you will, but it's going to be a taunt lock, I guess we're going to call it, right? And it's where we basically keep a taunt on them with the special 1. One of the things I've noticed with Cassie Lang, this is only going to be playable depending on who you're fighting to, is that depending on who you're fighting, she can shrink and cause the opponent to do a special. I've noticed a pattern in me playing her for the last couple of hours is that every time she shrunk, and basically it forced the AI to launch a special. It was really interesting. But again, I had the AI against the wall most of the time and that happened. So again, that's why it gives me a little bit of a stun lock, kind of like taunt lock, if you will, if that's a new thing we're going to call it. But I don't know. I am really liking her. I'm really liking her when it comes to like the addition that I just got for Battlegrounds. And again, it's just a matter if I want to invest those 6 stones into that science class. How she competes, let's just focus on science alone. How she competes with these other champions, for me personally, when it comes to Battlegrounds, I feel like Spot is an automatically addition to it. Spider-Ham, because I've learned and I've become very useful. He's become very useful for me in my deck. Human Torch, Mr. Negative, I still don't have 100% down, but I know he's useful. Recent Hulk, I got him as a 7-star, has been also an addition to my deck. So already I have a lot of science champions that are like taking spots in my deck. Defensively and offensively, I see Cassie Lang providing some defensive options, but not as strong as Spot. I know people have Spot down too. But offensively, is she better than your Spot? I mean, the Spot can just nuke fights down. Spider-Ham can also kind of nuke fights down. Mr. Negative can kind of do the same. Both are, all 3 champions are very quick. Can Cassie Lang keep up with that pace? So it's going to be interesting to know and see, at a rank 4. At a rank 4 compared to my other champions. My other champions are rank 4. Is do I put in the resources into Cassie Lang to take her to rank 4? Is she gonna be added to my deck? Every meta is different. This victory track meta, she's not gonna be useful. That's why I'm not doing it now. That's why I'm not investing any 6 stones or any rank up materials in her. But for the future metas, when she does become reliable, is it worth for Cassie Lang? So that's the question, that's the debate, and that's my back and forth situation that I always end up going through. But for now, she's staying at rank 3, at least in my personal account. I know this is the beta, by the way. Access to all the champions, high SIGs, and so on. So hopefully you got some good information out of this. I'd love to do more of these videos. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know if I missed something. We can definitely cover this in other videos. This is not the one video for Cassie Lang. I think there's more to uncover for her. I did want to give her a full dedication of time just to playing Cassie, because I feel like I needed to get a little bit better at the champion. I don't want to master her yet in the way, because she's not going to be added to my deck for Battlegrounds, and I don't see her being added for my questing team at the moment. Okay, so she's a solid rank 3 for now. The questions now are, is she a rank 4 or rank 5 worthy? So if you don't have like my other champions, like I mentioned, maybe she's not. But let me know in the comments, guys. What do you think? I know this is a long one on Cassie Lang, but maybe we can keep them short, especially just covering specific items on Cassie Lang for the future on this. But take care. See you in the next video. Peace.